Good morning, grade 10s. Welcome back to EGD. We were busy with our very first isometric circle for 2021. I'm just going to restart this drawing on a blank paper so that I can actually show you how to add the circle beneath it without these pens, the pen being in the way. Okay, so I'm just going to restart it, and I think it will be also helpful for some who needs to have a look on how to draw the circle again. Okay, so I'm just going to restart it. Okay, so step 1, as we know by now, should be to start drawing our transparent glass box. Let's just see. Okay, I'm going to draw it here. Looks like that's a good spot for the camera. We worked out the measurements already for the glass box from yesterday, which is just the maximum distances. Up was 40. Okay, this looks, just want to see if I need to focus a bit with my camera. Okay, that looks good. Remember, this is all done in construction line, so it's very, very light. So if it's not too clear on the video, that's a good thing, because it shouldn't be too clear. Okay, let me just move up a bit. There we go. So there's the glass box. Okay, and we started yesterday by drawing the circle. Now the circle has to be in the center of the top view, 30 millimeters from the back. So what I usually do is, if they don't give you a starting point, I first go and get the center point. So what I do is, this is 60, so divided by 2, which is 30. I do the same on this side. It should be 60 as well, so the half of 60 is 30. Make a point there. Then, because of isometric and it's 30 degrees, I can just then take it across. And I'm already adding my center line, so I don't forget to do it later, because I tend to forget this. This is like my weakness in EGD. Okay, so center lines are done. Step 1 for a circle. Draw the square the size of the radius. Draw the square the size of the diameter of the circle, which is, if I'm looking at the question, is 40. So I'm going to divide 40 by 2, which is 20. Put the 2 or 20 in the middle. Measure, make a point at 0 and make a point at 4 or 40. Do the same thing for the other diagonal line. And now again, because this is isometric, we just draw 30-degree lines. And where they overlap, within that overlapping area, that is the square we need. Okay, there's our square. All right, that's the first step of the circle. Second step, divide the circle or the square into 4 smaller equal parts. We did that as well. Step 3, step 3, letter V. Remember that step 3, letter V. And now we're starting with our isometric ritual. We're going to conjure up an isometric circle. If you feel like this becomes really evil, then you're on the right track. Okay, so there's the symbol, the evil sign has started, and now we can draw our circle. Now, we did all this construction for 4 points. This point, these two on the large obtuse angles, and those 2 points where the V's cross. And all 4 of them are used to draw a quarter of the circle. So let's say I start with the smaller parts. Remember what I said yesterday? First, check that it touches both sides. So I check, okay, it's good there. Oh, but not there. Do you see it's a bit off? No problem. Then just move your compass a bit. Until you're satisfied. So you are allowed to move the compass a bit. Remember, if I'm marking, I won't be able to see those small little dots. I'm just looking for the construction of the circle and the circle itself. So for those using stencils, you are allowed, well, not technically allowed, but we won't know the difference. And the way you're going to make sure you don't lose any marks if you use a circle stencil, just add the construction. Then no one can take away your marks. Okay, so I have no problem with stencils, but the IB might have problems, but you then just add your construction. Okay, it's like a calculator and mathematics. You may use a calculator in a maths test, but you have to still show your steps. Okay, now it's the big obtuse angles. The order of which you do it doesn't matter. I just did it in this way. Okay, it's a bit off. Okay. Now, as you can see, my construction is as dark as the circle, and I did this so that you can see it on the video. But you should try your best to do the construction super light so that the circle itself is darker. So to make it more clear on the video, I'm going to go over it with a pen, freehand, so it's not going to look the best, but just that you can see it. Okay, so don't do this, but you have to focus on trying to get your circle darker and your construction lighter. But I know it's not that easy with a compass, but you just do your best. I don't mark the darkness or the lines of a circle too strictly because I know some compasses are not that easy to draw dark lines. So I'm just using pen to make it more clear. Now yesterday before we ended, Xander mentioned that shouldn't there be another circle below it? Like, wouldn't you see the inside of that? Because remember, it's a hole and then there's an open space here. Xander, you are correct. So now let's add that circle beneath this circle. Good news, you do not have to go and redraw the construction of the circle again. What you do is, you just project the points downwards. So these 4 points, I'm going to project downwards to the level of where the lower circle should be. Let's quickly check how far does it go down. It is 10 millimeters. So now you go and measure 10 millimeters downwards. Make little dots there. I'm thinking, I'm not going to use this dot because we won't be able to see this side of the circle. It will be hidden behind it. So I'm just going to focus on this point here and that point there. Now what you do is you go back to your original circle. First put your compass back on its position. Now the last one I made was this large arc. So make sure it's the same size, then move it down to that point and draw it again, but very light because we still have to check if it fits in. Very light. Then I just want to check for the small circles, but I think that's the answer. Just want to quickly have a look at the small circles. You miss it. Okay, so that's the answer. So usually for the smaller circle, depending on how the question looks like, you might only have to draw one part of the circle, which is this part. Okay, I'm just going over with pen so you can see it. Alright, and to To get that part, I just used this arc, but I moved it down by 10 millimeters and the compass again. Okay, so the circle is done. Okay, let's add the rest of the drawing. Oops, sorry, I almost toppled over my camera. Now I'm just going to use a pen if I know this should be the final line. So I'm just using pen to make the picture more clear. Probably darken this line as well. Let's see, the bottom is also fine. Now let's see, I'm going to do the front part first. From here on, you can decide where you want to start. The only part I still need to show you is just the wedge, the ramp might be a bit weird. So I'm just going to explain that part as well. But for now, I'm just drawing the picture. And this is the best part that I like the most of isometric. It's just look how everything links together because you just use your 30-degree line. So everything just links up. And before I draw this part, let me just add the wedge here. Now the wedge, we have no idea what the angle is. We don't have to know this. What we do know is where it starts and where it ends. So it starts here at the top, in the middle, 20. So it's 20 millimeters apart. So 20 subtracted from 60 gives me 40, divided by 2. So it's on 20 and on 40. And I do the same thing here at the bottom. 20 and 40. You connect it together and voila, you've got your wedge. Okay, so a wedge is just get the beginning and the end part of the wedge and you've got your answer. And now look how you finish the wedge. Again, just isometric, connect them together, bring it down. There's the wedge. And now I can finish this front part. Well, it looks like the front part. Remember we said yesterday this looks like some kind of futuristic hover tank. So keeping that picture in my head, I'm finishing the front part of the shape. It helps if you have some kind of picture or description for the image you're drawing. It helps you to see the picture. Almost done. Now we just need to add this part there, which is a rectangular hole that goes through the circle, through the shape and underneath the circle. Okay, let's see. The size it's the size of the circle itself. So what I'm going to do is, those two lines that I've made for the circle in the beginning, I'm just going to project it downwards. Then I've got the lengths. Now I just need the height. The height is 20 millimeters in the middle. So it's 10, then here it's 20, there we go. And since it's a hollow shape, I'm going to take it through. Now, before I draw it, you see that it goes, so this part I can draw. It goes here, but you'll also see it in this gap here. But before I just draw it, I need to go and check where does it end on the other side, because it stops somewhere. So what I'm going to do is, this line, I'm going to take across. It should be 60 millimeters across as well. Okay, there it is. And then from there I'm going to bring it down because I just want to check where does this structure end. Aha, okay, so there it is. So it goes here, then up, and then, oh sorry, but I made the line too far, but it's fine. There we go. Okay, so open gap there, inside. That's it. There you go. There is the left side of page 53. Now you have a go at the right side of page 53. I'm going to send you a video shortly. Okay, bye.